2023-24 Florida Panthers retroactively on fraud watch. They play in a tomato can division. Did you know that 6 of the 8 teams in the Atlantic Division have the exact same points percentage record, whatever, not exact same record, but they're all 500? 2023-24 Florida Panthers retroactively on fraud watch. They play in a tomato can division.
They play in a Mickey Mouse division.
They do. If Dan
Mouse
Shaughnessy
Cup.
were here right now, he'd be like, frauds.
That is an incredible spin. I love it. Any reason to say that the Panthers are frauds after they just won a Stanley Cup?
Yes, and now I'm not talking about this year's team. I'm talking about last year's team.
You're right. Like retroactively, you cancel. It's like taking away Reggie Bush's Heisman.
Yes. Can we take away their Stanley Cup or at least say that they're kind of frauds? They blew a 3-0 series lead, and they only got there because they played in a Tiny Toons division, we'll call it. They played in a Muppet Babies division.
It's some people are saying. The bunch of teams that are 500. Is that exciting?
I can't tell. I was hoping you would have a thought on that. Sabres, Maple Leafs, Red Wings, Canadiens, Bruins, and Senators are all 500. The
It's
Lightning.
exciting to me.
What's that?
I said it's exciting to me.
I
2
think
weeks
that
ago, the Sabres season was over.
I'm gonna say ultimately it's probably exciting because we've been looking at the Atlantic Division for like several years at this point and being like, something's got to give, something's got to change, and it never does. It's always just like the Bruins, the Leafs, the Lightning, and the Panthers just hanging out.
I'll say this. The haters were wrong to declare the Buffalo Sabres in trouble, having hit rock bottom or whatever. No, they did hit rock bottom, but then they moved up from rock bottom. They have 3 straight wins, points in 4 of 5. Tage Thompson is playing out of his freaking mind. 4 goals,
season.
3 assists in the last 3 games. And man, if it weren't for him having that bonkersville season 2 years ago where he had, how many goals did he have? Like, did he have 50 goals?
No,
47?
he had like 40.
Yeah, you're right. He had like, I want to say 45 plus.
I think it was more like around 40, closer to 40. I could be wrong. 47. Wow. 47 goals.
Yeah, so he does have one insane season
Right.
to his name. But tell you
He
what,
had 38 goals the year before.
he's having another one. Yeah, it really was just that he was established. He did arrive, and last year was just kind of weird for everybody.
I mean, he was hurt, and I have
Yes.
seen like different Sabres writers talk about the fact that like I don't think people really gave him enough credit to how much the injuries affected Tage last year.
the chat clarifies that the haters are Sabres fans are the ones that said this. Nobody was saying anything good or bad about the Sabres.
That's
Except for Sabres fans who were like, well, frick my life.
It's very true.
Very
Trying to
true.
not swear.
Yeah, that is very true. I tweeted something like over the weekend about like Sabres are back, and somebody responded and was literally like, nobody cares about the Sabres except for you.
I mean, someone DM'd me when I just tweeted a Tage highlight that made the rounds on Sabres Twitter, and someone was like, "This guy's trying to get people to watch the Sabres." I'm like, "No, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy."
If nobody cares about the Sabres, that's fine. I'm still gonna care about them, and I'm still gonna
I've been
I'm
caring
still gonna
about
ride with the Buffalo people, good or bad.
I've been caring about them for the last 20 years when no one's given a shit about them.
I am glad that Tage is back because the NHL is a better place with Tage. And somebody pushed back on me saying that. And I think that, like, you don't always need your good players to be exciting, but you do always need your exciting players to be good.
I thought you were going to say you need your good players to be tall, and I was going to be in on that.
I mean, to the NHL is better when he's good. Like, there's just not a lot of guys like him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's-
he's an exciting player.
Yeah.
Not all good players are exciting, like inherently.
Mhm.
But the exciting ones, when they suck, it's really sad. Or
Agreed.
when they're like just mediocre, it's sad. So I need Tage to be a pillar of this league. I need him to be incredible because he's such a weird outlier and he's so fun to watch. And I think like a favorite part of this Sabres resurgence for me is that it's not a bunch of individual guys like Tage doing it all by themselves. Like they're playing really well together as a team, which gives me hope that this like could actually be a good Sabres season.
Owen Power producing a bit.
Yeah.
By the way,
It's good.
favorite non-exciting good player in the NHL.
Non-exciting good player. Would you consider
Like Zach Hyman?
I was going to say, would you consider Zach Hyman? Because Zach Hyman,
But he scores goals.
But not
they're
exciting
not
goals.
exciting goals.
Oh, they excite me. Afterwards, I text people Hyman in all caps. I was gonna say
It's exciting because he keeps doing it, but they're not exciting in and of itself.
So I was thinking more along the lines of like a Danton Heinen.
Yeah, but he's not. I'm saying like
All-star?
I'm saying good players.
You're saying like
not saying
all-star
that Danton
level.
Heinen isn't a good player, but he's not a good player.
would
What-
you consider Nikita Kucherov exciting?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any like he's not trying, he's not like that's exciting
Yeah, fair enough.
because there's always going to be some sort of story there.
Like I would say,
Barkov,
Jack
I think,
Eichel is not
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes,
Barkov, I feel like, is a good one too.
Yeah. Well, Barkov has some. He has like pretty nasty hands. He can.
I mean,
he-
so does Jack Eichel. Like,
yeah,
Jack Eichel
but like Barkov has more exciting highlights, I think, than Jack Eichel does.
Sabres Jack Eichel was an electric factory. Like, because he was the
'Cause he was
only
doing
player
it all
on the team,
himself.
but there would be times where he would pick up the puck in the defensive zone and be like, okay, well, this is going to be a goal, and then he would just do it.
would you consider Nuge not exciting? And
I don't think
good?
he's that level. I don't think he's the
Yeah.
level of player that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mark Stone, I feel like, is kind of a good one.
Mark Stone's a good one.
But I feel like that's just
Mark
the
Stone, I think,
Vegas
leads
Golden.
the NHL in points right
It's
now.
just the Vegas Golden Knights. Nothing about them is exciting. They're kind of like the Stars. They're just grown ups.
Yeah, I think like if you're like a real you sit down and pay attention to the game, you love a lot of the Knights players,
Mhm.
but you're not blown away if you're just kind
It's
of
not like
on the
must see,
peripherals. Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page. So if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you. Can I give you another mid-Atlantic team? How about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who lost their third straight game over the weekend when they had a real mid-off with the Bruins? No, I won't say mid-off. I'll say that they had a Bruins-Leafs off with the Bruins because the Bruins lead 3-2 late in the game. Austin Matthews ties it with like a minute and a half to go with an empty net.
After the Bruins have a chance to put the game away on Brad Marchand's stick,
Right.
can't handle it. That gets taken away. They
Pavel
go down.
Zakov sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Bruins could have sealed it. Marchand can't really hold on to the puck. They end up offsides. Austin Matthews scores a pretty goal to tie the game. And then in overtime, Austin Matthews says, hot pizza coming right at you, gives the game away. And Brad Marchand, who had no goals, famously, we had discussed with PD to that point in the season, was getting battered by his head coach, scored to win the game. And there's your Leaf experience.
Big time Uno reverse card. Like Brad Marchand fucks up, gives Austin Matthews a goal. Then in overtime, Austin Matthews fucks up, gives Brad Marchand a goal.
Can we get the Steve Dangle reaction to this game, please, Sean?
Leafs lose 4-3 in overtime at the hands of the Boston Bruins. Just like in the playoffs, they managed to tie it 3-3, and whoever gets the fourth one wins it all, and they blow it in overtime. Let's all watch the sad clown honk his nose. Me, Mom. Before we continue this video, a word from HelloFresh. From the meal planning to the grocery store.
Oh my God.
Cutting to an ad read is the best.
Shout out HelloFresh.
Shout
Steve
out
is the
HelloFresh.
best. Oh my God. Apologies for anybody listening on audio who did not see that coming.
Jump scare.
Yeah.
No, we said it was a Steve Dangle thing.
That's also fair. After the Bruins beat the Leafs in overtime, good point. You probably got to know what's coming.
I'd like to push back on the verbiage. The Leafs blow it.
No, the
they
Leafs
never
did-
blow it.
and they didn't deserve to win that game. If we're being honest,
No, I
Did
don't
you
think
check-
so.
did
Either
you
team
check?
deserved to win that game.
Did you
but
check if they deserved to win the game?
No,
Yeah, I was
didn't.
gonna say there is a record of this.
I did not check, but Yeah, like that was the Bruins. I feel like the Bruins are lightly putting it back together, putting the pieces back together. Can't go 60 minutes without doing something bozo-ish or a few things bozo-ish, but they at least had some like tangible positives that you can take moving forward.
Can confirm the Leafs did not deserve to win it. They were put at about a 32% chance to win that game.
Great.
Wow.
Or deserved to win. Excuse me.
Get fucked. You
It
like
ju-
that you're not swearing and I'm just picking up what you're leaving on the table.
While it's you're doing, I was gonna say, what's like the opposite of sympathy weight, where like one can't have any of the stuff, and
I'm just
like,
doing it right in your face.
It's okay. I'll eat a lot of pickles.
Listen, we got all these pickles. So if you're not eating them, somebody's got to eat them.
That's very, very thoughtful of you. I appreciate it. And I have also probably, I swear all the time. Okay, it's all good. Jim Montgomery saved?
I wouldn't say so. Not yet.
I would say, if anything, Jim Montgomery now confirmed can hit.
Oh, true. Damn it.
At that price point.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't do the same Peyton Krebs graphic that I wanted to do. I forgot about it.
Do it again. Or you do it on social media. No one listens to
guess
this
I
show.
could do it. I mean, I guess I could do it now, but like,
Yeah.
it's not as timely. I was gonna do goals before being punched 0, goals after being punched 1.
So how about this? What Chaos Memes, if you're listening, just steal Pete's graphic and do that. Put Marchand on there and then make another slide. He can hit, and it's Jim Montgomery. Easy peasy. You could do it if you want, but if What Chaos Memes wants to get cooking on it now, whatever gets it out there. Everybody follow What Chaos Memes on Instagram.
And Twitter now.
And Twitter. I don't understand all of them, I'll be honest. There was one about me recently, and I'm just like, I was like, people like it. Okay, that's good. But they're all funny. I like the looks of them. I like the Humpty Dumpty injury report that they've been doing. Really good. Yeah, all three of us, right? We all like What Chaos Memes.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Big time.
They've been cooking up a higher percentage of bangers recently.
The video of me the other day was hilarious.
Very, very.
What was that one?
I'm forgetting what it was, honestly. The content of it. I just remember that it was like something I like, something I don't
it was
like.
it was the country music thing.
Oh, yes.
It was the country
Oh,
music
you're
one.
right.
Very
It was
funny.
so good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do I'll do the cool graphic of hitting after this. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
can't
like
hit.
the general theme of this NHL season is that if you get punched by somebody on your team, things are looking up for you after that.
What would we consider Jim Montgomery's price point? I mean, just walkier. If he's not even, you're not even paying for more than 1 year with Jim Montgomery.
Yeah.
So he can absolutely hit.
Yeah, if you were tied to him for 5 more years, he can't hit at that price point. But there's an out here. You can hit here.
Okay. All right. So I like this. And on Brad Marchand, I was shocked to see this. Brad Marchand, I love as a player, as a human.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'll consider me a friend. I'll consider him a friend.
I mean,
love the guy.
He did us a big favor.
Famously does favors.
You do favors for your friends, so I think you're a friend.
I love Brad Marchand. He's a friend. I saw a tweet that said Elliot Friedman says on the game broadcast that the Bruins and Brad Marchand are getting closing in, something like that, on a 3-year extension. And I spit out my drink, wasn't drinking anything.
You texted me, is this a real account?
I said, is this a real account? Because I just didn't know. And you said, yeah, it was an aggregator. And you said, yeah, that's not a jokey account. That's just puts out serious stuff. And we don't know what this contract would look like. Famously, Brad Marchand said on this show that he intends to retire when he is done playing hockey.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of his career, he's going to retire.
Big news.
He's at the end of his contract. He's in a walk year. I figured he would keep going. What does a 3-year deal look like on a 36-year-old Brad Marchand? Because while he has obviously gotten off to a horrific start goal-scoring wise, he has 6 points in 9 games. Last season was actually better than he was in Patrice Bergeron's final season. So even though he's getting long in the tooth, coming off of 3 surgeries and not off to the best start this year, getting hit by his coach, he has kind of shown that he's not or he hadn't been slowing down at the rate that you would think a small old man like myself or the same age would.
Yeah, I think the question here is like, how effective is Brad Marchand going to be if he has to like revert back to being more of a just like middle six forward kind of pest? Because like he came up as the grinder who like would scrap and find any way to be effective and stay in the lineup, and then developed his game to become an elite scoring winger, an elite offensive winger, two-way winger, whatever you want to call him. But at some point, like he's going to lose that ability to a certain degree. And for other guys like say like a Corey Perry, who has constantly found a way to be effective, like in a longer term, like can Brad Marchand do that?
We have breaking news from people monitoring Twitter saying that I don't know if I said these people could be lying to us. I don't think they were, but the people in the chat are saying that Brad Marchand has today refuted that the sides are close.
I don't see
he
anything.
refuted that like immediately after the game.
Oh, he said it after the
weekend.
game?
Yeah,
That's why
Marchand,
Elliott deleted his like report and his tweet.
Marchand did say something. Chicklets tweeted it out. Basically, he said if there was a 3-year contract, it would be signed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're going to sign, I don't know how Elliott would get got that hard. But if that's the case, tough. I don't know what a 3-year contract would look like for Marchand. I said like the number that I would be comfortable with would be like, sure, let's do it, would be around $2 million.
I thought the same exact number. If you're really doing 3 with him, though, I think out of respect, it's got to be 4.
Like 3 by 4.
Yeah. $4 million a year, which
It's not
no
like,
matter
I think
what
that
happens
would be
with him
okay.
and how much worse he gets over the years, he's not going to age to the point where you're like, this guy can't be in the lineup. Maybe he becomes what he was earlier in his career. But I'll say, like, early in his career when he was like the grinder type, he was supposed to be an upper end two-way player. It was just a matter of whether or not his body was going to hold up. And we learned that was probably, those were in the final years of people being stupid about short players. Like he's like 5, let's say he's like 5'8", 5'9" or something.
Yeah.
People were like, shouldn't draft him. He's too, even though he was like a freaking star in the queue.
And like he's not like a tiny little boy either. He's got like some heft to him as a 5'9" guy. I mean, obviously this is in hindsight, knowing what he can do and knowing how effective smaller players can be. But yeah, like I think that's the big question is, can he still be effective when he loses a little bit of that scoring touch, and will his body hold up being that kind of player? I would have some confidence in it. I don't know if you need to sign him to a 3-year deal. Like he seems like the kind of guy who would be happy to continue just doing the 1-year thing until
do what Char
it
and
runs
Bergeron
out.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. What last team I would like to shout out in the Atlantic Division is the Ottawa Senators, who were almost above 500 when they came back, tied it up with the Avalanche last night. When everybody was watching the Cowboys come back last night, I was second screening it. I was like, I think I'm more into this Ottawa Senators.
It was a very
comeback.
good game. It was crazy.
And they ended up losing by a bajillion goals anyway. But
No, it wasn't a bajillion goals.
it ended up being like
2.
5-2, 4-2.
I think it was maybe 5-3, but they scored an empty netter. And
5-4.
Then
5-4?
yeah, because Ottawa scored after Colorado scored the empty netter.
They came back again. All right, so
Yeah.
then I was just watching. I must have just gone to the Cowboys to watch that game that I knew that they were going to lose.
Claude Giroux had 2 beautiful goals in that third period.
Watch out for the Ottawa Senators. They're 500 because they play in the Atlantic, and it is a Rugrats-ass division.
It is. I wouldn't
Cat
say
dog ass
I would
division.
not say look out for the Ottawa Senators.
Rocket power ass.
God, that cartoon.
I think
rocked.
if you're
Doug
identifying
funny ass.
if you're identifying 2 teams in the Atlantic Division that like have looked a little shaky, a little disappointing, I'd say the Red Wings and the Senators.
I wouldn't say disappointing. I'd say shaky is fine, but
Yeah, I guess.
We all silly like the mayor.